Glowing weapons, elemental magic, that nostalgic MMORPG itch you've been trying to scratch since the early 2000s. ENCHANT M idle RPG is throwing it all at you, but does it actually deliver? Or is it just dressed up nostalgia bait? ENCHANT M drops you into Aestra, a world that went sideways when elemental gods started beefing with each other and triggered something called the Heavens Sundering. Basically a cosmic disaster that shut the lights off on the entire world. Now, you're the last guardian of elemental magic, wielding enchanted swords and trying to piece everything back together before the darkness finishes the job. Classic setup, but the enchantment system is where things start getting interesting. And hey, if you're the kind of person who refuses to waste time downloading garbage mobile games, you're in the right place. We test these so you don't have to sit through 3 tutorial levels before realizing it's just another stamina-gated cash grab. Hit that subscribe button and stick around. So let's talk about what actually makes ENCHANT M stand out from the pile. And it's the enchanting system. Your weapons don't just deal damage. They absorb elemental power, one or more elements depending on what you've built, and that directly influences how you fight. We're not talking about a simple fire does more damage to ice mechanic either. The idea is that your sword literally channels the elements of Aestra, and stacking or combining those elements is where your build identity starts to form. Think of it like a crafting combat hybrid. The weapon you enchant shapes how your character actually plays. The idle progression runs in the background the way you'd expect. Farming stages, collecting resources, leveling up while you're offline. If you've played any AFK RPG in the last 5 years, you know the rhythm. Log in, collect your haul, push the next stage, repeat. ENCHANT M follows that same loop. So if you're already burned out on it, this isn't going to reinvent your feelings. But if you're comfortable with that structure, it works fine as the backbone here. What layers on top is the enchant crafting side. Gear progression isn't just about upgrading numbers. You're actively building weapon properties through the enchantment process. Getting the right elemental combination on your sword isn't random luck from a banner pull. It's something you work toward through the crafting system. That's a meaningful difference from straight gacha progression, and it gives you more agency over how your build develops. Now, is there gacha here? Almost certainly. This is a mobile idle RPG, so expect some form of summon or character acquisition system. The game markets itself at MMORPG veterans who want the nostalgic feel without what they call zero grind guilt, which is code for the idle systems carry the heavy lifting so you're not manually grinding for hours. Whether that translates to a fair free-to-play experience or a soft paywall situation is something you'll want to test in the first week. Watch the stamina caps and the rate of progression. That'll tell you everything you need to know about where the monetization pressure kicks in. The nostalgic MMORPG aesthetic is clearly deliberate. The glowing weapons, the elemental fantasy setting, the lore framing around elven kingdoms and elemental gods, it's all pulling from that late 90s, early 2000s MMO energy. If you grew up on Lineage, early Ragnarok, or any of those era-defining titles, ENCHANT M is clearly fishing for your attention on purpose. Whether the actual gameplay backs up that emotional hook is the real question. Endgame content and multiplayer features aren't fully detailed in what's available right now, which is worth noting. For an idle RPG, the longevity question is always, what keeps you logging in once the main campaign stages are cleared? Guild systems, PvP, raid content, these things matter long-term, and we'll need more time with the game to give you a proper verdict on that front. One thing worth calling out, the pitch of nostalgic rush with zero grind guilt sounds great in a trailer, but idle RPGs that lean hard on that angle sometimes end up feeling passive to a fault. If the enchant crafting system has enough depth to keep your hands busy, that's a good sign. If it ends up being mostly auto battle with a thin enchanting layer on top, the novelty wears off fast. So who's ENCHANT M actually for? If you're a mobile idle RPG regular who wants something with a stronger crafting identity and a throwback MMORPG vibe, it's genuinely worth a download. The elemental enchanting system has the potential to give it legs that most idle RPGs lack. If you're already fatigued by AFK progression loops or you need deep endgame content confirmed before you commit your time, hold off. Let it cook for a patch cycle or two and check back. Drop a comment below. Are you an old school MMORPG player this game is clearly trying to win back? Or does this kind of idle setup just not do it for you anymore? Would love to know where you're landing on it. And if you want more idle RPG breakdowns without the hype, like and subscribe. We're always on the hunt, so you don't have to be.